Hi guys, I am back for a while. I know I have been kind of missing in action for most of the summer, but my eyesight has gotten so poor that it was even hard for me to make a video because I kind of couldn't see the camera. Um, that's getting a little better because I have had the first of two cataract surgeries. So I'm going to give you a little backstory and then I'm going to go and I'm going to explain to you what it was like having cataract surgery and not laser surgery. I couldn't have the laser surgery simply because I have a lazy eye. I'm 80% blind in my right eye, which I call my bad eye. Um, I have astigmatism. So there are a couple of issues that didn't warrant getting laser surgery. But I'll go into that a little bit later. What I want to explain to you is how I found out that I had the cataracts, what the procedure was once the doctor decided that I would have surgery, and just to put your mind at ease because, oh my God, I should have done this so much quicker, but I was afraid and I was dopey about it. So, this is just basically an overall story of mine. And honestly, if you know of anybody who is having cataract surgery, let them see this because I really want to reassure people that it's a safe and incredible procedure. So, anyway, let's get the show on the road, shall we? Um, my eyesight has never been great. I have a lazy eye. It is called an amblyopic eye. My right eye moves in. Because it moves inward, the field of vision that I have in my right eye is only 20%. But the fact that my right eye moves inward affects the vision in my left eye. Basically, everything that I see, the top of it is double. But it's not even a hindrance anymore because I've been living like this for 65 years. When I was 5 years old, I had an operation to correct the lazy eye. It did correct it some, it didn't work wonders, but it it did help. The worst part about having eye surgery, like 60 years old, is that they put me to sleep with ether. And to this day, I can still smell that most disgusting scent. And back then, when I was at New York Eye and Ear Hospital, surgeries were different. My head like this was, I had bandages around my eyes for a week, and I was in the hospital for a week. So things have really changed in the world of eye surgery. So, about my cataracts around last November, maybe last October, when it started getting really dark out early, basically when we turned the clocks, I noticed on my way home from work that the oncoming headlights were just so glared and there was such a huge halo that it was obstructing my vision. And I ended up like driving like this, like, oh, oh my God, I can't see. I was cursing the drivers of the oncoming traffic out like crazy. I had a very saucy sailor mouth simply because I thought every single person had their brights on, when in fact they didn't. It was just my eyes. Overhead street lights, they were really obstructing my view as well. Like it was really a horrible, horrible situation. And I couldn't change my hours at work, which made me even more upset. But, my only recourse was to just drive super slow. And I know people behind me were probably thinking, oh my God, this lady in front of me, she's so freaking slow. She's driving like an old lady. I am an old lady, but I didn't want to be driving like one. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is even last year, the traffic lights at night had these halos over them. Now, my glasses, the eyeglasses that I'm presently wearing, have that anti-glare component and or covering, whatever you want to call it. And I was actually blaming my husband for cleaning my glasses so well that he washed the anti-glare coating off. Okay. So I'm making excuses like it's nobody's business, but I never considered that it could possibly be my eyes. I thought that I had makeup falling in my eyes because my vision was starting to get really blurry and cloudy. So I figured, oh my God, I must have gotten mascara in my eyes. Then I thought maybe I got cream in my eyes while I was putting my daily moisturizer on because again, everything was really blurry and everything was like super duper cloudy. Then things started to get worse. In the beginning of the summer, Roman came to visit while he was off from work. He's since back at work. Um, and during the summer, my husband and I eat outside on our deck. So I was noticing while we were eating that I couldn't see the facial features of my son or my husband. Take a look. I'm pointing to the window in my living room. See how blurry it is? And it's kind of like just like light light filtered. That's how I was seeing faces. That's how I was seeing faces whenever I was outside. That's how I was seeing traffic lights. I couldn't even make out a traffic light during the day. I couldn't even make out a sign like road signs or anything during the day. Like it was really bad to the point where I stopped driving and my husband had to drive me to work. And trust me, there is nothing worse than when you lose your freedom to drive. I couldn't sneak out to go on shopping trips and then hide what I bought, which that's the worst. I just like, I couldn't say, oh, I ran out of flour for this recipe. Let me just run to Wegmans. I couldn't do that because I couldn't drive. I mean, it was really awful. And at work, like last winter before we had the lockdown, I remember saying to my boss, "Oh my God, like I think I'm light sensitive because the fluorescent lights overhead are really obstructing my view with the computer." So I had my cubicle changed to one where there was basically no overhead lighting and just a window at the side. But in all honesty, that didn't help. Basically, the only thing that helped me was at work, so to speak, was wearing a flesh colored eye patch so that the cloudiness from this eye, which was 10 times worse than the cloudiness from my good eye, wouldn't kind of float over due to the fact that I'm cross eyed. So this summer, and given the fact that I really couldn't see anything, um, led to my husband going on a search for an ophthalmologist in the Philadelphia area. Now, you have to understand, I grew up with the same ophthalmologist from the time that I was like 2 years old till the time that I was in my early 30s. And when Dr. Stevens, who was my ophthalmologist and also my eye surgeon, when he retired, it was so devastating for me because not only was he my doctor, but he ended up to be a friend of the family. And it was just horrible. So I just kept going to um, just eye doctors who give you prescriptions for glasses, optometrists. I just went to optometrists. I went to like the optometrists at Lens Crafters or any sort of like vision store. And to tell you the truth, I had no problem as far as getting good prescriptions. As a matter of fact, I go to an optometrist here in the area where I live, and he's great. I really, really like him a lot. I mean, these glasses are great prescriptions for me. Um, but I needed more. And because I'm a pain in the ass, I kind of said to my husband, you need to find me a doctor who went to a really good school because, I miss my New York doctors. So lo and behold, my husband found Dr. Ralph Sando in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, and I can't be happier. He's like my new Dr. Stevens. Possibly could be better. But anyway, we found an ophthalmologist. We drove into Ardmore into his office for my first visit with him. And he explains to me that I have cataracts. He also explained to me that I have a cataract in the front lens and in the back. So I only thought that there could be like one cataract per eye, but apparently there's like you can have two cataracts per eye. He also explained that because I have astigmatism and that lazy eye, that it would be just slightly more challenging. No big deal. The surgery would still take only 20 minutes, but he was good enough that he explained everything to me. He explained how my eyes are, he explained how bad my eyesight is. And he even explained to me that the worst possible thing that could happen during the surgery is this sort of explosion, but that there would be a retinologist there in case that should happen. So I felt pretty good about the surgery. He also explained that there are certain levels of lenses, going from the basic to these really high tech lenses where I wouldn't need glasses anymore. For me, it's all about what my medical insurance pays for. Ooh, excuse me, gotta fix my dress. So because of my medical benefits or thereof lack of benefits, because even though I pay half a fortune for these medical benefits, I still had to take the basic. Hold on. So we went with the basic lens and all was fine. I went through the appointment feeling pretty good. He made another appointment for me to come back and have my eyes measured. I had no idea that you had to get your eyes measured for cataracts, but it does kind of make sense when you think about it because they're putting the new lens in a certain perimeter of your eye. So everything needs to be exact. Okay. So I went to my second appointment. I had my eyes measured. I would say the process took maybe between 45 minutes to an hour to get all the measurements exact. His staff, Dr. Sando's staff, is so amazing because they're just really, really nice and pleasant. And when you are going to any doctor, I think the personalities of the staff really are a part of that whole team of being a great practice. And I have to say, like the people that Dr. Sando has working for him are really, really great. So, that being said, I had my eyes measured. Then I was given three prescriptions, along with taking eye drops that kind of moistened my eyes. God, I hate that word, moisten, moisten. Ugh, I can't stand that word, but it's the best word to use. Um, Regular eye drops that I had to put in both eyes to kind of keep them moist and not dry, because the objective is not to blink, especially when you're getting your eyes measured. So I was given three more, a prescription for three more eye medications. One medication I take when I wake up, and 12 hours later, about 6 o'clock at night when I come home from work. The other medication before the surgery is taken 4 times a day. So I set my alarm on my clock on my iPhone for when I have to take that medication. The third prescription is taken 7 times a day, and that is taken after the procedure. So you're kind of on a schedule all day for these eye drops that you have to use, three of which are going into the operated eye, and one only the like non-dry eye drops are going into both eyes. Okay, so that's fine. And I trust me, I'm taking those drops religiously. Um, Even with medical insurance, it still came to about $150, and I will have to refill those three prescriptions, because I will be getting surgery on my good eye on the 23rd of September. So hold on again. I know I'm talking nonstop, but I just want to explain everything. So the day of the surgery rolls around. My surgery was scheduled for 7:15 in the morning. My husband and I drove into Bala Cynwyd to the Mainline Surgical Center. And on the way there, he explained to me, he was like, Cassie, you know, I cannot go up there with you because of this COVID. So you must be brave and you must go by yourself. So I was kind of like, oh man. Okay. So because of COVID, he had to drop me off and I had to go in by myself. But let me backtrack just a little. You know, when I go to the doctor, I like to make sure that I'm dressed nicely. It's like flying on a plane and wearing nice underwear in case anything happens. So I put on a little black dress, which was very easy to take on and take off. I wore Repetto ballet flats, and I had one of the nice Louis Vuitton bags that I had refurbished. And I figured, okay, this looks nice, because as soon as I get there, I'm going to have to go into the locker room and or into the changing room, put my belongings into a locker and change into one of those hospital gowns. Right? I just likened it to having a colonoscopy and what you have to do when you have a colonoscopy. Well, I was kind of a little wrong there, and I wasn't thinking about the pandemic. So when I went into the building, um, there was a nurse there, almost like a receptionist, so to speak. She had a little table, and she explained to me that because of COVID, I was unable to bring my purse in. I needed to take only my driver's license, my insurance cards, and my credit card, because there was a copay, which I'll get to in a little while. And that was it. So while my husband was still in the parking lot, I was like, okay, I'm going to take my stuff out that I need and I'll just give my purse to my husband. So I ran out into the car. Luckily, he didn't leave right away. He's a lot smarter than I am. I gave him the purse and then I ran back into the building. I was given a little clear plastic bag to put the cards and my phone in. And she accompanied me to the suite where the surgery was going to take place. So, this COVID thing, it's just the way that it's changed everything is amazing. I had a mask on. They gave me a new sterilized mask, which was fine. When I went into the waiting room, there were X's taped on chairs so that nobody would be sitting next to each other. And there weren't a lot. I mean, this was like 7 o'clock in the morning. So there weren't a lot of people there, but everyone was well socially distanced. So my name was called so I could go check in. Um, there was a $200 copay. Again, medical insurance in this country. What can I tell you? So I paid, we went through everything, and I sat back down to wait for another nurse to come get me and bring me into the area where the surgery would be. It was like less than 5 minutes later. The nurse came out, um, explained what would be going on. And let me tell you, this nurse, Beth, she was freaking great. I could have talked to her all day long. She just became a grandmother recently. And since I'm going to be a grandmother in February, it was such a great conversation. Like, I was really having so much fun that I wasn't even thinking about the procedure that was going to take place. So, anyway, it was so weird because in this, like in this area, it was like a hospital. It looked almost like a hospital ER or a hospital recovery room where they had everything partitioned with curtains and everything. But when I got there, she said, "Oh, sit into this chair." And it was this chair looked like a cross between a wheelchair and one of those hover rounds. Remember the hover round commercial where the guy was driving around on that little cart and he was like, "Hover round gets me where I want to go. Where will it take me?" Like, that was one of my favorite commercials of all time. So, anyway, I sit on this hover round slash wheelchair thingy and it reclined back. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So now I'm reclined back. And since I couldn't change my clothes, I was in my street clothes, they put a blanket over me so nobody would get to see my beautiful panties. Um, And the next thing I knew, she was putting an IV in my wrist, like right here. I have a little bruise. And trust me, the bruise was like the worst thing about the surgery. So they put an IV in to give me, not to knock me out. They gave me medication to relax me. Oh my God, this stuff was so good that, like, I wish they could have kept the IV in me all day and I could have gone home with that medication. It was great because it didn't make me feel like that. It just made me feel incredibly relaxed, like just chill. It was so great. Next, I got drops to numb my eyes, kind of like Novocaine for the eyes, if you will. And every couple of minutes, I would get more eye drops. And as the IV flowed through me, I was feeling great. So a little while later, my doctor came in and he was like, "Oh, good morning, Kathy. I'm going to take you in to get your eyes done, so, your eye done." So we went into the operating or surgical room, whatever you want to call it. Um, it was awesome because, well, I was so relaxed that I kind of don't remember anybody covering my good eye. So basically, I was awake and I had to look up at a light. And trust me, the light was so bright that you don't even see what's going on. It's just like this colored light. And all I could think of was, wow, I never did acid when I was younger, but this must be what an acid trip is like. Honestly, like it was pretty amazing. Like I felt nothing. All I could see was this light. And because my eye is lazy, every so often the doctor would be like, Kathy, look up more. Kathy, look up more. Look up more. And I did. Like it was insane. So in 20 minutes, I swear to you, in 20 minutes, it was over. I was wheeled back to the recovery area. They did put oh, they did put this clear shield on my eye, and the purpose of this clear shield isn't so much to protect the eye, but it's basically to protect me from touching my eye because after the surgery, they go through everything with you. Your eye will be irritated. It depends on how much it's going to be irritated. For me, uh, it was hardly irritated at all. It was a little itchy, which I understand the use of the shield because, like, for a moment there, I just wanted to like scratch my eye, and I didn't. Um, it kind of felt like an eyelash falling into your eye at first. So I'm telling you, this shield is pretty amazeballs because it really does protect. And I've been sleeping with it on as instructed. You are to sleep with it on, kind of protect yourself. I have been following my medication routine like crazy and putting those eye drops in like crazy. Um, the most astounding thing is when I came home, I closed my good eye. Now, I only have 20% vision in my right eye. When I took the shield off to put my eye drops in, I could not believe, and trust me, this is only with 20% vision in this eye. I could not believe how vivid everything, like reds were redder. My face was more wrinkly than ever, which now I'm bugging my husband because I really need fillers. But like every line showed up to the point where I was like, oh my God, that's me. I look so disgusting. But the sky is bluer. Like everything is so vivid and everything is so clear. The clarity is phenomenal. And I'm telling you, this is only with my 20% vision. Now, one of the reasons that I'm keeping this shield on, and I'm also putting a tissue in between my eye and the shield because I can't yet put an eye patch on, is simply because now instead of my bad eye crossing over into the vision of my good eye, where before the surgery my good eye saw even more cloudy because of the cloudiness from this eye, which was worse. This eye, the vision is so good, or rather, the clarity is so spectacular that when my eye, because my eye crosses over into the spectrum of vision with my good eye, it's kind of making my eyesight and my good eye wonky. So I do have to cover my bad eye. Um, I went for a follow-up visit to Dr. Sando the next day and everything was fine. And he did explain to me to use the eye drops religiously because he is really, really a proponent of that. And I am listening to him no matter what he says. I am listening to this guy because he just did such an incredible job. Um, I'm really looking forward to September 23rd because I know that what I see cloudy now and what I see dull now and what I see that isn't vivid is just going to be so incredibly clear and vivid that I'm really, really excited. I still, because I'm getting the basic lenses implanted in my eye, I will still need eyeglasses. And I am very happy about that. I am not sad about that because trust me, when you've been wearing eyeglasses for 62 or 63 years, it becomes part of you. My glasses help define my looks. I love my glasses. I would feel so uncomfortable and naked without them that, I'm looking forward to wearing glasses that aren't Coke bottle glasses or that just have a basic, like, less intense lens, so to speak. So, yeah, like that's it. I'll be back to talk to you about after my second surgery. I am going to put the links to two blog posts that I wrote about the preparation for my cataracts and my cataract surgery. But honestly, I just want to tell you, if you know somebody that has cataracts, if you have just been diagnosed with cataracts and you're kind of like nervous about the surgery, oh my God, please don't be nervous. It's like the greatest thing in the world. You are going to be so happy. You don't have to go to sleep for it. You're awake but you don't feel anything, trust me, going to the dentist is a million times worse. It's like it's crazy. So that's it. That is my cataract story, part one. Stay tuned for part two. And I just want to thank so many of you for reaching out to me as I've been incommunicado. It really makes me feel good. I may not have been able to answer all of the comments simply because I haven't been able to see that well, but um, you have no idea how grateful I am that you are thinking of me. So I definitely will be back with more videos, more bad lighting as usual. I mean, come on, what would my videos be without bad lighting? What would my videos be without filters? So you can see like every freaking wrinkle on my face. So, and what would my videos be without humor? So that's it. And by the way, today I am not wearing a wig. This is my bio hair. It took me an hour to make it straight, which is one of the reasons why I love wigs. But I did put some spray on my bald spots, so yeah, I'm wearing my real hair today. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? So I will be back. Have a great, great Memorial Labor Day weekend. And it's okay to wear white after tomorrow. And that's it. So have fun, and I will see you later. Bye bye now. Let's see if I can stop taking this and not get all flustered. Take care. I love you and thank you.